So I have a conversation with a girl who is working in a company that is operating for 8 years now. And we talked about branding, okay? So we hop on a call and we talked about branding, what we do, how we help companies and, to create a system that is working for them. And at some point she said, well, not too many people actually do understand what the branding is and how it can benefit. So maybe you want to transfer to switch to something else or position yourself differently. So I asked her, what do you mean position myself differently? Differently from branding and like consulting or something. I said, well, we're doing that too. It's just, don't you see the value in it? Don't you understand? Well, yeah, but, I'm not sure if we need that, because, we got a company. I mean, it's still a startup and we are kind of fragile. Financially, we're still trying to do this and that. And I was like, 8-year startup? You don't say a company that is 8-year-olds. You don't call it a startup. Startup is 2 to 3 years, right? It would be like you're naming a 10-year-old kid like a baby. No, that's not the case. It should be startup is 2 to 3 years. So I said, okay, let me try to explain it in a different way. So I turn on the share screen and I open a browser window and I type her the company name. And we saw maybe 5 to 10 images, but there was no branding. And what I mean by that is, when you think of Starbucks, you think of green color, or McDonald's is red, or if you search for, if you look for Deloitte, there's black, white, and green dot. Or Accenture, or McKinsey, or Aon. All these companies invested huge time and effort to stand out. Now, when I typed the name of the company, just a couple of photos, but there was not connections whatsoever. So I said, you see how this works. So you don't have your digital blueprint, meaning if somebody who can be a potential client search for your company or wanted to check out how you look on digital, and they don't see they don't see much about your company, something that is exciting, something that is fun, something that is engaging, something that is smart, instead of like a couple of headlines, just some random photo that can be any brand. I said, that's what's affecting your business. And this is how you're gonna, and probably you're already losing clients. In order to put the life in your brand, you need at least 7 things, which is logo, colors, typeface, imagery, icons, videos, and content production that is based on the voice that we defined, how we are going to communicate what we are doing. So she said, yeah, but these people don't understand. You just have to educate it. I said, educate them. So I was like, yeah, I'm open for it. You just have to connect me with the right people and I will present what we do. And that's that. And then also, one of my favorite things when I talk with the larger systems, I ask people, scroll down to your footer. Let's see what's happening there. And what we usually see, and it's kind of like a rule of thumb, when it's it's coming from people who are actually going to provide an answer like, we don't need branding, we are not ready, we are this and that. On their footer, the company that is 8 years in business, that have some sort of creative department, now it's 2026, it says 2024. And I always wanted to stress out, like, listen, if you are in 2026 and you did not change the year in your footer for like 2 years, what do you think? How will that, what kind of impression does your visitors or your potential client is going to get from that? There's only one. You guys don't know what you're doing. You're not focused on the details. Maybe you're lazy, maybe you're like, but you're not focused enough on your digital presence. And by the way, this year in footer, it's a little tiny, smallest details that can reject clients. You wouldn't believe it. Like, if I see like 2024, what are you doing? And especially if you tell me, no, we're a system, we have people, and like, so none of the employees could tell you, hey, let's just change the year. Let's just do that. It's a 1 minute task. So it's really interesting. When we're building brand infrastructure, what does that mean? Let's say you're a startup. You have a product that you've been working on, let's say some SaaS or something. I'm walking my dog. Whoa, what is this? It's a garbage? Yeah, looks ugly. Sorry for that. So when we say we build an infrastructure, we have a conversation about what is your space, how that looks like, who are your opponents, and we analyze the activity of your opponents so we can help you win in every single type of race, on every single touch point. Touch point could be email, touch point could be YouTube channel, touch point could be a website itself. I don't know if you have a brand ambassadors, faces, you're recognized as reps of your business or a company, events, partnerships, whatever it is. So I know, for just a simple example, for one of our clients, we built 4,000 tiles for a Pinterest alone. So what does it mean? 4,000 library of 4,000 pins that we posted on Pinterest, and every single one of them is either fun or educational or is answering important questions for the audience or users and clients. And every single one has got a link connected to the website. Google My Business page, very important. Blogs, staying relevant on the major platforms like Medium or Reddit and so on. So there's so many things that can be done. I don't know what's going to happen with this company, if they're ever going to call or not, but when the people are like clueless, there will be a point when they're going to start feeling pain. And the moment you start feeling pain in your business, in most of the cases, it's kind of late. And the only way to resolve that painful situation is to get new investors or more money to come in, work harder, work smarter, and try to thrive, right? So, what else? I just had one more thing in my mind. Yeah, so when someone tells me like, hey, branding is not working and it's so expensive, and now with all these tools that we have, we can use it ourselves. I said, I agree. That's not the case in 2026. That was the case much earlier. Like, you can build your website 10, 15 years ago. You can produce some content and stuff. But the thing is, our company is performing and offering branding services on a more with the behavioral science behind it, because the colors that we use, the elements that we use, sentences that we use are made for potential clients and partners to trigger and to evoke this engagement, and in order to make an action. So I always ask, what makes you think that a lawyer or an MD or a financial guy is going to be better and perform better with some creative tools versus somebody who is in the creative industry, who's using tools probably even better? How you think you can overperform? What I see and what I hear is that people are struggling, and I don't see a progress. They do produce the content, they're much more frequent, but more content does not going to help you win. More content it's not equals impact. It's like you're sitting at a bar, and you see a guy who's handsome, and you got attracted, right? And then you ask him a question. Hey, what's up? How's it going? You know. And then he just starts talking, and it's, oh my God, there is no end, and it's just content, just words exploding, like just going out from his mouth, and you're like, what is this? Oh my God, I just want to finish my drink now, and I'm out. It's kind of like that. So we have to produce, we're in a space how we can produce based on the touch point, based on the user's journey, what we need to say in order to keep client interested and not overwhelmed, and be like, hey, I like what these guys are saying, and I think I understand their service and how they're doing it. I'm going to reach out to them. So the problem now is that I don't see a progress. The technology was never on its peak. But because people are somehow convinced that they can do it by themselves, I don't need a lawyer who's going to be working on a logo. I need a lawyer to win my case. When we use the attorney for business situation that we have like a year ago, he did not win the case. We have to pay like $5,000. Hey lawyer, I want you to win my case. Be the best lawyer. Don't be the lawyer. It doesn't make sense to me. Be the lawyer who's going to practice law. Don't be a lawyer who's going to explore and learn about creative tools. Unless we teach you based on our foundation and what we did, how then later on to scale it and how to use it and so on. So that's that. I think we have a great approach based on what we are hearing for our clients, from our clients. Think about this. We are charging, let's just say one salary, whatever it is. Whatever state you're in, let's just say one salary. For that one salary, instead of having one creative person, a video editor, UX designer, brand designer, you're actually having a team. And the purpose of that is whenever you need something, like, hey, we need a video guy. We need a video crew to record sets of, lower thirds and interviews and all of that. So instead of hiring somebody that you basically never work with, don't know what results are going to be provided, or even worse, instead of posting a job post on a LinkedIn or Indeed, and then you have to go through all the applications, interviewing people. How time consuming is that? So instead of doing that, because you need one person who's, be an expert for social media, all you need to do is to call me and be like, hey Nick, we need a social media expert who's gonna work on our social media presence for the next 2 months. We're gonna provide fast, ideal person. Hey Nick, I think we should start with the video production in 2 weeks. I know the team. Do you need a guy who is an expert in the indoor video or outdoor? Do you need a crew with the drones? What do you need? Let me know. So with just one single email, just think about how much saving is that. Time-wise, money-wise, everything. So I think that's a huge value. And again, about pricing, because everyone is kind of super sensitive. We never overcharge. We never, that would not make any sense to charge and then not to perform or not to produce results. I told her, we built a website for the remodeling company in Denver. We launched the website. It has 40 pages plus blogs or something like that. So we wanted to help them out, stand out as soon as possible, because they're competing with the companies there on the market for like 10 or 15 years. This company does not look like a startup company. When I say startup, it means like less than a year. And now the guy, I think the project was originally 30 grand, and then we had a little bit more. They needed more content and production, but let's say 30 grand. It was a little bit more, but the guy closed the deal of $1.2 million for the dermatology clinic. Is this expensive? Is this like good return on investment? I don't know. Tell me how you're running your business. Like, I just see the websites that were built by non-creatives, people who they don't have experience with it, and now they lose the market opportunity, the momentum. They're not making any clients, and they're whining about it. Everything is expensive. Well, you know what? If you want your phone to ring, if you want to receive an emails or inquiries, you have to invest, not because of we want to get rich, like from getting, from your retainer. It's because you're competing with somebody else who's a little bit smarter and who understands the rules of the game. You have to stand out. So what we're building is basically all that I said, like the colors, cool messaging, nice photos, consistency, and everything that you need will come from Designer and Gentleman as a one system that works in a harmony. When we build the brand guideline book, the purpose of that is to understand what the dynamic you actually want in your video, what photos, what type of people and personas and ethnicity and groups you want to have in your digital presence so they can resonate with your audience. So our team is offering connected experts. So instead of having disconnected freelancers, hey, Frank, can you do the video? Frank, who you don't even know. You don't know if he's gonna provide. You don't know what is his work ethic, how is, like, we know what type of, let's say, video editor or videographer are going to propose for yachts, for real estate, for events, and so on. So my point is, if you have a company that is $10 million, $5 million, $20 million, if you don't have a right digital blueprint, what are you doing? If you need help, if you need to hop on a call, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, okay? Take care from beautiful, beautiful, sunny Florida. Take care. Bye-bye.